I don't give a fuck.
The sun's all in your face.
It's all up in my grill.
All right, so again, with the motives, that was not enough reasoning for me to torture these girls for as long as they were tortured. No. It just made it seem like they were in the wrong place at the wrong time and they made friends with the wrong girl. That's not fair. So again, another thing I'd like to point out, Jason's batting 1,000, incest with 2 out of 4 siblings. Like, as if the first wasn't bad enough, but he actually had a relationship with the second, of no fault of Jason's, but...
I don't have a mouth.
It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it now. So, here's my thing. If they knew...
Fucking fly likes the camera.
If they knew that if they knew that Cece was going to be Charles since season 3, let's go out on a limb here and say that brew scene outside of the window would have already been shot.
Yeah, not interpretive dream sequences with holographic images of the girls in the background on a TV fucking screen while Cece is looking in the fucking window.
Yeah, they literally superimposed the
It was like
shot.
A giant TV screen.
It was stupid.
It was ridiculous.
So that right there should just prove to you that they had no clue that they were going to pick Cece up until a couple episodes before
My
they
eyes
filmed.
looked yellow. Did you see that? Whoa.
Up until a couple episodes before they filmed it, they had no clue that they were going to pick
No.
Cece.
And I firmly believe that they reshot it. I don't give a fuck who says what.
I don't know if they reshot it. I think they might have shot a couple different...
Yeah, and decided to go
same-
with the shittiest one.
Mm-hmm.
Get
Just
outta
like
here.
they did, like they shot the scene with Toby and Caleb and Paige, and they went with Toby to keep it.
Gotcha.
Why?
Because, aw. Yeah.
Just like they did the whole, like, Toby and, like, they filmed a couple different people for that. Maybe that's something they did. Maybe it's something... I have no fucking clue. I don't know why they would pick somebody like this.
It doesn't make any sense with any of the clues. And, again, I'll say it again. If they did not at any... Marlene King sat there and said, I don't know why people think that Ren would have been Charles. We never gave him any kind of suspicious... Seriously? Because sitting there and drawing the barn with the red coat in front of it, tossing a child into the air, is not suspicious enough. But him misspelling diagnosis. The
Mona
police
saying, that's before
I knew where your loyalties were. The police having doctor in quotation marks on their board. The fact that he has 7,000 different degrees. The fact that only he and he alone should be able to have access to getting into the system at Radley to be able to get anybody a pass, regardless of who it is. Why the hell does he have a bad relationship with Eddie Lamb?
But he's never looked suspicious.
He's never looked suspicious. Not once.
And to his knowledge, he's never had any bad intentions either.
Of course not.
Okay. In Pretty Dirty Secrets, we found out that Cece broke up with Jason the day after Allison went missing. Which, again, you could argue the fact that, like, yeah, that makes sense. Of course, she would not be able to continue a relationship because she's getting hauled back off to Radley. But what the hell stopped her before? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What stopped her before from being out and about? Like, I don't know. All right.
I just can't.
So, okay. Cece works at a boutique. So now she has like a work visa to get out of Radley, get out of Radley
free card yeah. Mm-hmm.
to work and make money because, you know.
That's what people in psych hospitals do.
Yepper. You're a danger to yourself and to others, but
we're going to let you go out and deal with the public on your own.
And deal with the most stressful job, which is either the food restaurant, a call center, or freaking retail. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A sane person would murder somebody in a retail store, but you go for it. So she works at a boutique. She closes the boot. We see her working there. She's giving Emily and Nate St. Germain, frickin' Lyndon James, whatever you want to refer to him as, Maya's cousin, as somebody would say, giving them advice on a scarf or something for Jenna, whatever. And then we see her locking up later that night. So she was there all day.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go, she's running a freaking fashion show. She's posting bulletins in the morning at this high school and then unpacking boxes in the afternoon with Spencer and then setting them up at night and they're dressing and they're all trying their gowns on. Again. She got out of Radley again. None of that makes any sense.
No.
So then...
Steering wheel in the shot, damn it.
This really pissed me off. Another thing. She claims... Last night in this episode, she said, I have no clue what Jason's talking about. I was not talking to Melissa. I hit Allie over the head. I wasn't in a yellow top. I wasn't there.
The sun's back.
But when Emily goes to visit her in her apartment, when she's running away from Wilden and she's afraid of Wilden, blah, 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 Emily says to her about being there that night. And why were you even there that night that Allison disappeared? And she says, I was there to talk to Melissa because Allison had these tapes that everyone wanted and Melissa wanted them more than anyone. And I was calming Melissa down, letting Melissa know that I would get the tapes from Allie.
That must have been a dream sequence that we watched that episode. That episode did not exist.
It didn't happen. So she contradicted herself. She did talk to Melissa, but then last night she said that she was never there. And she never talked. Jason never saw her.
Nope.
So, which, if Jason did see her, then she had the fucking yellow top on that night too. Like, what the fuck is going on? So, then we have parties at Noel Kahn's cabin. And, oh, I forgot that Eric Kahn had a younger brother. Well, you're so chummy with the Kahns, and you're at their parties and this and that, but again, you're supposed to be in Radley.
I guess the whole Kahn family was in Radley too.
They must have been partying it up on the weekends. We know that Cece was there. We know that she made a comment to one of the girls like, oh, I've seen cops do way worse in this room. So we know that she's been there multiple times. Like, how? Like, okay, she took Mona sneaking out of Radley to a whole nother level. Mm-hmm. Like, Mona snuck out for like an hour at a time and came back in through the window, whatever. She was gone for weeks at a time, okay? And nobody's ever said anything.
With the pillows stuffed in the fucking blankets. Oh, she's still sleeping. It's 3 weeks later.
So, yes. Another thing is...
3 weeks later, still sleeping.
If Mona killed Bethany, which Mona's not a dumb bitch, okay? Mona should have known from the beginning that it was Bethany that she hit after... First of all, she saw Allison, or after they found a body and she knew Allison was alive. She should have known that there was somebody else that she hit. So that doesn't make any sense. She just found, it was a revelation last night. But, how did she hit Bethany over the head? Cece hit Allison. She hit Bethany. Melissa buried Bethany. But how did the fucking Allison bracelet end up on Bethany's
who
wrist?
did that? Are we to believe that was Ian? Or Garrett?
Then we have the fact that, the last point that we make, she loved her sister so much. She cared about her sister. And we called that whole thing of Chucky going to put her in the bathtub. Chuck never meant to hurt her. And I get it. Okay. Whatever. But you could say that Cece has always cared about Allison. That's what she's claiming in last night's episode. But yet she sets her up for murder, sends her to jail, and has prisoners beat the crap out of her. And you love her.
And furthermore, who the flying fuck wrote on the wall of the jail cell that Allie was staying in, what the fuck is Leslie Stone's relevance?
Well, and another thing, but Leslie Stone was afraid of Charles and Bethany. Well, what the fuck?
Okay.
Charles? I thought she changed
that
her
would have
name
been
to
Charlotte by
16.
then.
Who the fuck is Charles? But then we also have the fact that, you said who wrote on the wall. It's like, how is she getting into the jail cells? How is she getting into this and this and this? And then we have the unanswered questions that Marlene King gave us via interview about how Ian never really killed himself, or Ian killed himself.
And Mona staged the suicide note and the friggin' crime scene.
So, all of these answers that we've been dying to find out for 6 seasons deserved to be answered in an interview. I said on
Go
Twitter,
ahead and say it.
It really pissed me off. That is like literally the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl. Let's take, for instance. It's a tie game. There's 1 second left on the clock. And we don't know who's gonna win. Fucking the Cowboys versus the Giants, okay? The Cowboys are about to kick a field goal. Well, they go to kick the field goal and boom, it cuts out. Completely. Find out tomorrow.
In an interview with Entertainment Weekly.
Who won this game?
Better yet, find out 6 years later who won this game.
6 years later in an interview that is just to cover our asses. I didn't want to find out how these people died in an interview. I didn't want to find out how...
Let's go to some irrelevant questions to some, but yet ones that still plague me and pick at my brain. Who the fuck is Dr. Sullivan's son?
There's like, for the people that are arguing, we're not arguing with you that we didn't get answers last night.
She was threatening my son. Well, who the fuck is it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not arguing the fact that we didn't get answers.
No, I know that, but...
We got answers. We found out who Chucky was. We found out why Chucky was Chucky and Charlotte and Cece and whoever the hell she was.
And then they tossed an irrelevant character into the mix that didn't come onto the show until this season and made that person Black Widow and fucking Redcoat.
But yet in 2 seasons ago, Marlene King is tweeting on thing. Find out who the lady in black is.
And
who do you think? Put your guesses here. Well, I'm sorry. Were we supposed to just throw out the name Sarah Harvey without even knowing who the fuck she was?
No.
So, again, we're not arguing the who. We're not even arguing the why. We are arguing the fucking how. Because...
the plot holes. And I don't give a flying shit that they're all doing damage control. There's plot holes in every show.
Not shows that you have to come up with theories to be able to figure shit out.
I'm sorry. No, because... Hey, I'll say it. I don't care. You lost a lot of your fan base last night.
Here's our thing. We literally, if they went with Ren, we, just like every one of you, would have been questioning, well, okay, they went with Ren. Awesome. You know, there were so many clues. But how did he work at Radley? And how was he a patient there? We would have been questioning that too. Absolutely. There was plot holes with anybody that they would have picked. But not like this. This was literally, they just took a character and they were like, fuck it. Let's just fucking go with this person. Nobody will question it. Whatever. And if they do, we'll just say it was a dream. That's what happened. Like, literally, they could have went with Lucas. They could have went with Noel. They could have fucking went with Ezra. They could have went with Toby. They could have went with anybody else. They could have went with anyone else. And it would have made... at least more sense, and I get that there would have been plot holes with anyone they picked, even Ren. There would have been a little bit of errors, and there would have been ways for people to argue it, and I get it, but not like this.
At this point, I wish that Back to the Future was a fucking reality show. So that I could jump into the DeLorean and rewind time to June 7th, 2010.
And be like,
the day before Pretty Little Liars. Oh, Pretty Little Liars is coming on tomorrow?
I'm okay.
Fuck this shit. Peace.